Alright, so today I'm going to take you around to a house that I've been driving by for quite a bit. And oh my goodness, quit! I've been driving by for quite some time. My truck is acting up. Yay, just what I need. But it's been vacant for about 2 years that I'm aware of. The house has been vacant for about 2 years that I'm aware of, and it's just recently been foreclosed, so it's going to be coming up for foreclosure. I've had my eye on it, like I said, for a while, so we're going to go check it out. We'll do a walk around, take some video of the outside, kind of see what is there, see what we can see from the outside without committing a felony. And then we'll do some evaluation on it and figure out exactly what we might need to do to turn that into a money-making machine. So be looking for that. Oh, wait a minute, you are looking for that because you're here. So let's head over there now and we'll walk around and see what's going on with it. If I didn't know better, I'd think I was in the mountains. We got a few hills coming up here. And 15 seconds later, we're here. Oh, it was 1 second. Or however fast it was. But we're here. Let's take a look. See what this house is all about. Alright, here we are. This is the first option that we're going to look at for a potential purchase. And I'm going to take you on how I go to identify these properties. See, it's foreclosure and it's been winterized. Let's see. Alright, concrete block construction, at least in the front. It is eat up with vines. Let's get up here, you can see the roof. The roof is in not terrible shape, but there are some shingles missing there. It's probably going to need a new roof. Obviously we have some broken windows. There are no screens, but they're double pane windows. Just looking through inside, you can see it's covered up with lots of garbage. So the yard is pretty well overrun. We can't even get back that way. Okay. I'm not even going to attempt to go back that way. Soffits and stuff are in pretty bad shape. Like I said, they're looking at this for a rental property. We may be able to salvage the soffits, don't know. But I'll just figure on $600 for those anyway, just in case. And the front porch is open. Come in here, some garbage. Here we go. Date. Let's see here. Got a glare here. There we go. Date 8/19/20. So it's January, so it's probably about 4 months ago. Get inside. See inside. It's old wood. That's probably not going to be suitable for a rental. Being able to rent the property out, I mean, I guess you could rent it out like that, but it's not something that I'm necessarily interested in. I'd probably want to change it. Here we have a garage that has been closed in. We can tell it's a garage. Here's the little driveway slab that was built up here. It was closed in. Backyard is fenced. These windows obviously are busted out. Vinyl siding. Backyard. Pretty good sized backyard. I'm not going to try and get back there, but you can see it's a pretty deep lot. We got an outbuilding. Quite surprised here. The house itself doesn't look to be terribly big, but bigger than you'd think. It's got city gas. The electric meter is going to need some work. It's hanging off the wall, or at least the weatherhead is loose. It's got cast iron plumbing. We can see that. That's going to date this house to probably the 1950s to 60s. There's some plumbing coming on the outside. While that's not necessarily a deal breaker, it's not ideal. Let's see if we can get around here. Alright. Workshop. This may or may not be salvageable, but it's pretty big. Around here, like I said, I'm not gonna, oh, there's something else back there. Let me go back there. These windows are all covered in, you can't see inside. Obviously something's back here. We get back here, there's another little shed that is obviously no good. It's pretty well run down. I'm not going to try and get back there. This is really overgrown. And that's pretty much the extent of what we can see on this house. We know the age of the roof is probably 15 years because it's in bad shape. We know the electric panel is going to have to be redone. We know that the yard is completely overgrown. There's briars. These are blackberries. Completely overgrown. This will be a nightmare to clean. But for the right price, it'll be worth it. All of these trees here that are right up against the house, all of that needs to come out. The root balls on there will go in and they'll grow up under your house and they'll cause foundation issues. So all of those need to be removed. Let's peek in here. See what's in here. This is a bunch of garbage. We're not going to do the break-in and entering thing, but you can see all the windows are broken out. Let's see. And we got wasps flying around. Okay. A lot of garbage here to haul out. Missing a door on the back. There is no gate. Front yard is rather small, but not in terribly bad shape. So, alright, now what I'll do is, given the walk around on this house, you can see this roof right there. See how that roof's got a little belly right there where the transition is? Okay, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. It's not something that can't be resolved. It's certainly going to be a factor in the price. But all in all, let's get back here. And here's the house. Let's see here. It is probably 52 feet long, 54 feet long by maybe 24 feet wide. So 1,200 square feet, if my math is correct, plus this closed-in garage with the shop in the back. Now we get to go crunch some numbers because we couldn't go in the house, But we're going to crunch some numbers on it now. Oh, there's something else too. Let's point this out. That is gas furnace probably. And I should mention, I did not see any kind of HVAC on this house. So there's no air conditioning here, so that's something else we'll have to contend with. I just realized that I look like I'm beat. Of course, it is late. It's, you know, well, not really late for me. It's like 9 o'clock. But when you've been going since, you know, 6 in the morning, and, you know, I won't get in bed till after midnight, it's a long day. All right, so let's go ahead and start looking at how we're going to start evaluating this property. First thing I want to do is I want to identify the property on our local property appraisers website, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get that, and I'll show you what information I can get from them, and then we'll go with doing a breakdown and figuring out what we can do with the properties. So let's go on over here and let's get information from the property appraiser's website. And now that we're armed with some basic information about the house and how it came to be foreclosed, we can look at the particulars of the house with a little more intelligence. So we know the house is assessed at, say, $75,000. We know that it's roughly 1,300 square feet based on the dimensions, 1,600 square feet under roof. We know it had a mortgage on it for $50,000, $50,750. We know that it was foreclosed, lis pendings in 2020, finalized in December 2020. So that would have put, if they filed in January of 2020, that would mean that they only wait like 3 to 4 months before they do anything with, you know, lis pending. So we're talking maybe September, August, September of 2019 is when they stopped making their payments or fell behind. That means from 2003 to 2018, 2019. 16 years. Paid on 16 years on a 30-year note, or a roughly 30-year note. 50,000. What's going to be left on it? You know, maybe 20, even at a medium interest rate. We're talking $28,000 for the house. And now, whether or not that's what it sells for, who knows? Banks will generally ask for whatever's left on the note, but at least we got a good starting base, and we know that what we have to work with. If we assume that it's 28,000, it's probably going to be a little bit out of my price range for what I want to do. I like to be within a 4-year payback on the rent, and roughly, let's look real quick at what that might be. So here we go. Let's just do this right here. All right, bring up the custody calculator. And if we do $1,250 a month times 48 months, it's 60,000. So 60,000. If we take off the 28,000, that gives us $32,000 window. Which is pretty good. So that's the far end. On the short end, I really like to be at 36 months. 1,250 at 36. That's 45,000. 28,000 off if that's what the purchase price is. Gives us a $17,000 window for renovations to be able to still make money in this project in a reasonable amount of time. And we'll get 100% return on investment within 36 months if we can budget within $45,000. So let's look at the property and decide, you know, where it's going to be. If it's going to be within the $17,000 range. You know, the other properties, the $5,000 house, we spent, well, our all in on that was like $29,000. We had just under $30,000 actually. If we just round it to 30, we had 5 in it, so we got $25,000 in renovations. That was a lot of renovations. It's basically a full gut rehab. We're talking 17,000. It's a concrete block structure. Maybe it's not quite this bad that we have to spend 25,000, but we'll just see. So let's take a look at that. The house is assessed by the property appraiser at roughly $78,000. Actually, that's they're valuing it at $78,000. They're assessing it at $75,000. The taxes are roughly $1,300 a year. The previous owner, before the house was foreclosed, had purchased a house in 2003 for $50,750 and had paid on it for like 16, 17 years. Outstanding balance on the mortgage should be, based on that, roughly $30,000. Given that information, we can see, well, there's a little bit of room in there. Rental estimate on this house is somewhere between $1,200 and $1,300. If we just kind of stick it right around the middle at $1,250, we can see where our math is going to go with that. But the key here is also for built-in value for the house. Realtor.com has it listed at a value of about $79,000, and Zillow has it listed for a value of about $98,000. I think Zillow's a little high. I think Realtor.com is a little bit low, because generally the assessed value that you get at the property appraiser's office is anywhere from 10 to 20% below market. So if we say they're assessing it at 78, if it's 10% below market, you can add another $8,000 on that. So you're going to be like $86,000. If it's 20% below, which I'm not sure that it is, because based on the neighborhood and the houses that are in the area, I don't see it being like 92,000. I think probably closer to 85, maybe it may be 90. You have to get somebody come in there and do a real appraisal on it just to be sure. But that's the value that we've got on it. So now let's look at. Oh goodness gracious! Got to go to bed sometime. All right, so let's look at our assessment here. So the purchase price, if we assume $30,000, going to need a new roof. We'll figure that at around $4,000 because we got that little hump on the side. We don't know what's going to have to be there. Probably some framing and just to fix it. We could just go and kind of rig it up and just put metal on it or something, and we could be around $2,500. But I think we really need to fix what the issue is with that roof and that sag and the bump there. Any potential framing, lumber, decking, figuring $600 for that. That could be high, it could be low, who knows. We'll figure $800 for electrical, get that meter fixed. Don't know what's going to be inside, but we're just going to throw this ballpark out for $800. It's going to cover some new fixtures and any kind of incidental stuff. Probably put, even if we don't rewire, probably we'll put new outlets and covers and switches in, kind of freshen it up and make it look nice. We're going to figure about $1,200 for any kind of plumbing issues. You notice that it's got all the plumbing on the outside, the cast iron. We're probably going to want to consolidate that and fix it because it's cast iron. Put it in 1963 when the house was built. So it's definitely going to need to be looked at. With all the trees and what have you growing out there, we may end up having issues with septic tanks. And if that's the case, you know, we can you can throw another $5,000 on top of that. Didn't see a central heat and air, so we're going to add $3,500 for that. That should cover it. You know, it could be a little low. I'm going to be a little conservative on that because I'm thinking I can be within that number. We're going to figure $1,500 on windows only because, you know, the windows look like they were good windows, like they were replacement windows, but there are no screens. It's going to be $100 or $150 to replace all the screens. But on the side where the carport was closed in or garage or whatever, there's all the windows are broken out. So we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to replace the door. There's no door on the back. We're going to have to replace it. Probably replace the front door simply because it's ugly. I know I don't have to like it. You know, I just have to be able to rent the property, and then maybe put a screen door on the front carport or front porch. I'm going to figure $1,500 for drywall work. That's going to cover any kind of drywall, mud, probably, you know, may have roof leaks. Don't know what the ceiling is going to look like inside, so we really have to get inside. But we're going to figure $1,500 for that. If we use it, fine. If we don't, then great. We have $1,500 we didn't have to spend. Probably going to have to replace cabinets. I've not come across one of these properties where I haven't. So I'm going to figure $1,600 for cabinets, $400 for countertops. That should take care of everything I need to do in there. I'm going to figure about $2,000 for flooring throughout, tile, carpet, whatever. And that's because I know that I can, and I've done this before so many times, not counting my own labor now, mind you. I know that I can do flooring for about $1 to $1.50 a square foot. Figure $1.50 a square foot, I'll be good. Painting around $800. Waste removal for the dumpsters and what have you is going to be like $1,200 for over the course of the rehab. And it's going to be about $1,800 for yard cleanup. All told, that's going to put us in at about $51,000. So if we have $51,000, we're looking at a 41-month payback at $1,250 a month. Now that's raw numbers. That's not, you know, that's pre-tax. That's before we have to pay any property tax or income tax, any kind of repairs, because hopefully with the money we spend now, we don't have repairs down the road. And that's ideally what you want to do. You don't want to have a bunch of repairs, you know, in the first few years that you own the property, because it will just literally suck you dry. Fix it up front. Don't be done, you know, and be done with it. Oh, I didn't even figure it. You know, I probably need to throw in another $1,200 for appliances, a stove and a refrigerator. I can get a refrigerator for $600. I can get a stove for $500, you know, and then plus tax. So that's where we're at. So roughly $52,000. So about 42 months, 42 months, which is not the best, but it's certainly not the worst. So 42 months, let's do the math here real quick. 42-month return on investment. So if your initial investment's 52,000, let's do the math here real quick. That's going to equal roughly 28-29% return on investment year over year. That's not counting built-in value for the growth of the value of the property. If you got 52,000 in it and you have a property that's worth, say, 85,000, you know, you're already up $28,000 in equity. So it's looking like a good deal at $30,000. You could make the argument one way or the other whether or not you know, there could be some hidden costs because we can't get in it and see it. And you could, you know, say err one way or the other. You could say, well, you know, maybe I'm not going to use this much money, or maybe it's going to cost a little bit more to do the rehab. But then maybe you're going to be looking at this from the aspect of you're going to have another $28,000, $30,000 in equity when you buy the property, and that's going to continue to go up. I mean, it's sure, you know, we had the issue with 2006, property values went down. I'm going to just say that's probably an anomaly. We'll see what happens, but it's looking pretty good. It's within the 36 to 48 month payback. I would like it better if it was, you know, closer to 36 months. And I can really only get there if our purchase price, let's see here. Yeah, that's not going to fly. If we can purchase it for about 24,000, that's where we need to be really where I feel comfortable. But looks like a good deal at, you know, on face value. The key again would be to what's your intention. My intention is to rent it. If your intention is to sell it, it's probably not going to be a very good investment unless you're just going to live there or rent it out. So that's where I'm at. It's looking like a good one, and if it comes up for auction anytime soon and we can get it within that price range, we're going to go for it and see what happens. And if it happens, I'll let you know.